the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we are here at Williams Grove as the Dirty Old Bastards present the 360 Sprint cars here tonight. And also, I gotta thank our sponsors, Wicked Cushion, Kyle Keen Motorsports, and Brent Marks Racing Sim Team. All of those helping bring the broadcast here tonight. Things have gone haywire in the last 10 minutes as far as my graphics, so we are going to have to deal with the window bar here tonight. Don't look at it too much. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Let's see if we can't maybe, I don't know, it just came out of nowhere. We'll do that. No. Yeah, we're good. All right, so here we go. Heat race number 1 at Williams Grove. My name is KR Stolfus. Mike Keegan on the front row. Kyle Keen on the outside. Or I'm sorry, Tyler Shell on the outside of row number 4. Kyle Keen a little bit further behind him. Row number 1 going to be Mike Keegan, Billy Rowley. So let's get right into the grid properly. Row 2, Adam Buchanan, Tyler Shell, Kyle Keen, Nathan Davis, Joshua Steinke, Ryan Scheidt, and Nicholas McGathy and Michael Sheridan out here tonight for heat race number 1 at Williams Grove. It is a week 13 of iRacing, and there is a lot of changes coming, a lot of curveballs to be had, but the green flag comes out and Mike Keegan gets off to a huge jump early. Keegan running right through the middle there through 3 and 4, gets a good head start here in heat race number 1. The yellow flag going to come out very quickly. I believe several cars are involved. McGeehee involved, Kyle Keene, Joshua Steinke. Let's take a look and see what happened here. 17 on the high side comes down low, and a couple cars involved in this one. Steinke, McGeehee, and Kyle Keene. That was off of turn number 4. Couple things to keep in mind: a gentleman's agreement not to use the rear mirror or rear view mirror. So that could have been a product of that kind of racing. Another thing to keep in mind is that Dirty Old Bastards is doing not only a points track for the 360 series here on Tuesday night, points track on the 410 series on Thursday night, but they are also intermingling between the Pennsylvania Posse, anybody with a PA after their name, and the Dirty Old Bastards Outlaw drivers. So anytime that they come to a track in Pennsylvania, they are going to have a points spreadsheet for a Pennsylvania driver and a DOB Outlaw driver. And there are a few things to keep watch on here tonight. Among all of the I will say that the DOB Outlaws versus the PA Posse Challenge Series, Joshua Pickell is your point leader as the Silverado pulls to the inside. Mike Keegan gets on the throttle once again. Green flag back out here in heat race number 1. Keegan with a good jump here once again, and more trouble down the backstretch. Nathan Davis and Billy Rowley getting into this one. Take a look and see what happened here. The 79 of Billy Rowley. You see Nathan Davis was already sideways. Davis and Tyler Schell get together, and man, they just make contact, and around goes Davis, and he collects Billy Rowley as well. The caution flag is out. So heat race number 2 having a bit of a hard time getting rolling. Lights are on the Chevy Silverado. Joshua Steinke, the only race car that started that is not out on track. So as the lights go out on the Silverado, Mike Keegan out front with Adam Buchanan in second. In that 44, third place going to the 10 of Ryan Scheidt. Michael Sheridan, Kyle Keene, Billy Rowley, Nathan Davis, and Tyler Schell rounding out the rest of the field. Silverado pulls in. Mike Keegan on the throttle once again, and man, he is getting some really great jumps on these starts as he pulls away through turns 1 and 2 without a challenge for the moment. So Keegan off of turn number 4 across the start finish line, and we're down to 4 laps to go. Kyle Keene in the final transfer spot in that 17 machine. Ryan Scheidt trying to close in on him, but he's got a bit of a gap to make up. Fastest lap of the race going to Tyler Schell right now for heat race number 1, a 17.85. As Ryan Scheidt gets into the wall hard, he goes up and over, and the yellow flag going to come out. Looks like he collected Tyler Schell as well. Tyler Schell making a move down to the inside to try and make that pass. Slid down low. Some close, hard racing there. It's a yellow flag out once again, and I think we're going to have a green then checkered type situation. We're going to find out here. Chevy Silverado into the infield, and away we go once again. Green flag back out. Mike Keegan once again gets a stellar restart. Down to the bottom goes the 15 of Michael Sheridan. Kyle Keene trying to take over third spot. Adam Buchanan to the inside. He and Michael Sheridan make contact, but they sort it out and keep going. Mike Keegan gonna win heat race number 1. Your top 4 transferring. And now we move on to heat race number 2. Let's roll right into our starting lineup for this one. On the inside of row number 1 is Jeremy Zarfos. On his outside, Kenny Hoffman. Row 2, Zane Scott and Kevin Click. Row 3, Taylor Howell and John Lowe. Row number 4, going to be David Smeal and Chris Lynn. Tyson Landis and Brad Lamberson make up our row 5 here in heat race number 2. Randy Post checking in on YouTube chat. How you doing, Randy? And yes, it has finally happened after at least 2 years of trying, several scheduling conflicts. I am finally achieving my dream of doing a DOB season. All right, so here we go. Heat race number 2 on the night. Jeremy Zarfos out in front with Kenny Hoffman to his outside. The lights are out on the Chevy Silverado. We're gonna fire them off, let them loose. Make sure you stick around after our race here at Williams Grove, because we're gonna have a second race as well. 2 races every Tuesday night. Jeremy Zarfos in the 19 gets a great jump and jumps out to the early lead, goes right to the high side. Hoffman giving pursuit, but not quite to his back bumper just yet. Hoffman running that very high, wide and handsome line up on the guardrail. Gains some momentum down the straightaway to close in on Jay-Z in the 19. Now pulls it down low. Jay-Z not able to get those runs down the straightaway that the one of Hoffman seems to be having. Kevin Glick into 3rd spot. Taylor Howell and Zane Scott battling it out for the final transfer spot. 1 car into the wall off of turn number 2. Christopher Lynn and Tyson Landis coming together. Those 2 drivers getting back up to speed here as Jeremy Zarfos continues to lead. On board with the one of Kenny Hoffman. Jeremy setting the fastest lap here in heat race number 2, a 17.98. Hoffman trying to pull down to the inside, just can't make anything stick. And Jay-Z hard into the wall. And that is going to send him up and over, and from the race lead, Jeremy Zarfos is going to end up on pit road. So yellow flag coming out for the 19 from the race lead. Goes into 1 and 2, catches the right rear and cartwheels. A bit of a rough go for the 19 here tonight. Heat race number 2 so far had been a lot cleaner as far as cautions, as we are working our first caution here in heat race number 2. All right, so the lights go out on the Silverado. Everyone single file as we get ready to fire them off once again here in heat race number 2. Tyler Hilton checking in. Man, I got some old friends coming by to say hello. How you guys doing? Come on out for DOB. Sign up. They got another race getting ready to fire off here in about 45 minutes. All right, so turn 1, Kenny Hoffman, the new race leader, as Jeremy Zarfos crashes out from the race lead. Hoffman, Click, Howell, Scott. Those are your top 4, as they are going to see the white flag this time They're going to transfer into the A main if they can hold on to it for one more lap. Hoffman to the high side. He catches a little bit of the guardrail, but able to keep that in check. Click, Howell, and Scott all right there. And Scott in that fake 537 machine trying to rip the lip. But Hoffman, Click, Howell, and Scott all make it in to the A main here tonight as we get ready for heat race number 3. Drivers already starting to hit the grid. Let's get into our starting lineup for this one on the inside of row number 1. Mark Broderick and Kyle Stoltz. Row 2 going to be Carter Chevalier and Alex Szerzynski. Darren Detwiler and Vinny Sansone for row 3. Justin Zapp and Tyler Isley, row 4. And row 5, Jaden Bingaman and Peyton Grease. Gonna have 4 heat races here tonight. We are working heat race number 3. Quite a few cars signed up for this race here at Williams Grove, but only 24 cars that survive and make it into the A main are going to be the ones that we award points to. Top 4 out of each heat race. And then we will take 8 cars from the B main. We are going to have a C main as I drop my keyboard. That's all right. It's a cheap one. It'll survive. Green flag out, and away we go here in heat race number 3. Mark Broderick in the 51 down in the bottom lane, running it nice and smooth down on the bottom. Meanwhile, Kyle Stoltz and Carter Chevalier and a whole lot of them getting bunched up off of turn number 4. Alex Szerzynski. And no, man, run hard into the wall. That is Darren Detwiler in the 3 as he has gone upside down. The yellow flag coming out. And Darren going to have to try and check himself into the infield care center because that was a hard hit. Let's see if we can't take another look and see what happened to the 3 Design Metal Art machine. Down on the bottom lane, they are all running all very close together. And he ends up on his side. Then break dances for a little bit before he gives up and hits pit road. Take another look at it here. 3 wide off of turn number 2, and Darren just gets caught out. Almost got it there, Darren. We'll give you half a point. But in the end, wasn't meant to be. don't know if you guys have noticed, but it is week 13 of iRacing. And that means that there are things that disappear or reappear, or things that happen here on week 13. And my front grandstands are gone. I don't know why. They were there and then they weren't. And it was time to go racing. So yeah, it is what it is at this point. We don't care that the grandstands are or aren't there. What we really want to see, some great racing. And here in heat race number 3, Mark Broderick trying to bring it home as the green flag comes back out. Broderick in the 51, running that bottom line, and he is doing a very fine job at it. Kyle Stoltz in the 01, giving chase. He is up on the top shelf, but not gaining in, and we got more cars in trouble in the back. Justin Zapp and Tyler Isley make contact. No caution yet. Stoltz, meanwhile, from the high side, taking the race lead. Broderick in the second, Szerszynski third. Your final transfer spot going to Vinny Sansone. And that orange and blue number 80, but he is under heavy pressure from Peyton Grease. Szerszynski in trouble. Now he gathers it back in, but Peyton now sends it down to the bottom. That is for the final transfer spot with 3 laps to go. Caution flag going to come out once again. I believe this time it is for the 23. Let's take a look and see what happened to Alex Szerszynski. Hard tumble into corners 1 and 2. Take another look at this one. Gets into the corner, drifts up, that right rear catches the guardrail. Up and over he goes, end over end. So some hard hits here in heat race number 3. Quite a few cautions so far to kick off this race here tonight, as we are on heat race number 3, and I believe we've had 6 cautions so far here tonight in these heat races. 4 heat races in total on tap. Top 4 drivers out of each heat race going to transfer into the A main. Everyone else into the Constellation. We will have a C main and a B main here tonight. As always, I have to give a shout out to Roger Muth whenever he joins YouTube chat. Roger, how you doing? Thank you very much for coming by. That one's for you, Roger. Normally it's for Chris and the rest of the DOB guys, but that one was for you. All right, so the Chevy Silverado pulling in. Kyle Stoltz, your race leader. Onto the throttle from a low angle off of turn number 4. Gets that good jump that he needs to go into the corner unchallenged. Vinny Sansone in the 080. Into second place, third Peyton Grease, and Jaden Bingaman into the final transfer spot, final lap, final time around. Here we go. Stoltz, Grease, Sansone, and Bingaman all trying to hold on to what they got to make it into the A main. and Stoltz is going to win it. Grease in second. Sansone and Bingaman all transfer into the A main here tonight. So heat race number 3 done and in the books. Now we move on to heat race number 4. Our drivers are making their way onto the track for this one. Let's roll right into our starting lineup here tonight. Brent Strickler on the inside of row number 1. On his outside, the 93 of Chris Roberts. Zach McLaughlin and Mason Hannagan, row number 2. Row 3 going to be Josh Pickell and Larry Moody. Row 4, Ernie Williams and Dakota Kuhn. And our final starting spot here tonight, Ryan Lynn in the 26. So Brent Strickler in the 38 down on the inside lane here. Chris Roberts in the 93 to his outside. Strickler runs and operates sprint car in real life. Multiple drivers out here tonight have their very own sprint cars. But Brent Strickler, that sprint car he drives here in iRacing very much resembles his real life one. It's not tit for tat perfect, but it is very close here. Chevy Silverado pulling off. Mason Hannagan, your point leader here on Tuesday nights, on the outside of row number 2. But Strickler gets a great start, really heads off into turn 1 unchallenged, but then throws it all away as he gets into the wall. He is all over the place trying to gather it back in. And Brent Strickler goes from the lead all the way down to 8th place. Mason Hannagan, your point leader, coming into tonight out in front, and that is a bad situation for the rest of the field, because if Mason Hannagan gets out in front, he has a tendency to not give away the race lead. Zach McLaughlin in the 11 trying to do everything he can down on the bottom to take that race lead away. Another car catching the fence. I believe that was Chris Roberts in the 93, but he is able to continue on. Hannagan and McLaughlin swapping positions there. So McLaughlin down to the bottom. He's going to throw a slider for the race lead. Mason Hannagan turns down underneath him. McLaughlin not quite with the momentum to make it into turns 1 and 2. But man, he has something figured out through 3 and 4. Both of them go to the top side that time. Ernie Williams in the 91 in third. Pickell, we saw Pickell sideways down the front stretch, and then Brent Strickler crashing through 1 and 2. All that happening without a yellow. We have 2 laps to go. here in heat race number 4. Meanwhile, McLaughlin and Hannagan are still battling this one out. They continue to swap it through turns 3 and 4, but it is the final lap. Mason Hannagan has the race lead. McLaughlin throws it down to the bottom. Hannagan on the top side. Hannagan gets a huge run that time, and Mason Hannagan gonna win heat race number 4. McLaughlin, Williams, and Roberts, your top 4. So now we move on to our C main here tonight. 4 drivers will advance out of tonight's C main. So let's get right into our starting lineup for this one. On the inside of row number 1, that is Mark Broderick and Ryan Lynn in the 26. Row number 2 going to be Tyler Schell and Jeremy Zarfos. Row 3, Alec Szerzynski and Brett Strickler. Row 4, Nick McGeethy and David Smeal. Row number 5 here in our C main, going to be Darren Detwiler and Dakota Kuhn. Row 6 will be Joshua Steinke and Brad Lamberson. And Carter Chevalier, final spot here in our C main tonight. Chevalier and McGeethy did not make it to the grid. So they can only sit there and watch as this race begins to roll out. So Broderick in the 51, Ryan Lynn in the 26. They find themselves tucked in tight behind the Chevy Silverado. Silverado off the track, and Broderick on the throttle for our C main here tonight. Broderick gets a good run down the back stretch. Under the bridge he goes. Trouble! Ryan Lynn in the 26 from the front row getting involved. Multiple cars in this one. Joshua Steinke, Ryan Lynn, and Brett Strickler all involved. Lynn and Strickler make contact, and Steinke gets jammed into corner of a wall, and that's one of those where it makes you glad that this was sim racing, because that was a very hard hit otherwise. Take one more look at this. So there you have it. Mark Broderick, your race leader. Strickler, Steinke, and Lynn very well could be out of this race. Looks like Ryan Lynn going to try and get back out there. But Steinke and Strickler so far have not made their way back out onto the speedway. McGeety and Chevalier already missed the start of this race. Top 4 drivers going to transfer out of the C main into the B main. We're going to take 8 drivers out of the B main. Broderick, Shell, Zarfos, Szerzynski, your top 4 for the moment. Silverado down and away. Broderick on the throttle. Green flag back out here in our C main. To the high side goes the 51. Down on the bottom is the 85 of Tyler Shell. Shell trying to make something happen, but not able to do it just yet. This time Tyler Shell sends it down to the bottom through 3 and 4, and that is going to cost him a big impact and spin. Keeps it running. No yellow flag. How about that? So Tyler Shell now contact Brett Strickler into the wall. Brad Lamberson stuck into the fence as well. And the yellow flag coming out once again. Strickler down on the bottom. Lamberson and Strickler get together at the bridge. And Lamberson gets caught in the fence. So once again, the caution flag coming out. Chevy Silverado has the lights out right now, and they're working their way onto the back stretch. We're going to try and get this C main done here without another caution. 13 cars were scheduled to start this C main. We have 7 race cars out on the track right now. The 51 of Mark Broderick getting ready to bring them down onto the front stretch, and he grabs some throttle, and away we go. Broderick out in front. Szerzynski to the high side, trying to give chase. Szerzynski with a good run off of turns 3 and 4, gonna take over the race lead. Broderick got into the 3 and 4 a little bit slow there down on the bottom. Now he's trying to challenge back to the inside of Jeremy Zarfos. Top 4 drivers out of this C main going to transfer, but if you're in that top 4, got to be careful. You don't want to take yourself out, as Darren Detwiler carries the front end down the front straightaway. And Broderick in trouble as the yellow flag comes out once again. No, the yellow flag is not out. Sorry, I thought it was. Szerzynski continues to lead, so Broderick crashes out of this one. No caution coming out. Szerzynski in the 23 with 3 laps to go, your race leader now. Jay-Z in the 19 working the bottom lane. Tyler Schell in the 85 and Dakota Kuhn in the 95 down on the bottom. Those are your top 4. Those are your transfer cars right now. Darren Detwiler in trouble. He crashes out. So Szerzynski, Zarfos, Schell, and Kuhn, your top 4 drivers. Final lap for Szerzynski here in the C main. Off of turn number 4, Szerzynski gonna win the C main. Jeremy Zarfos, Tyler Schell, and Dakota Kuhn make it in. David Schmiel, the last car running out of 13 cars, only 5 cars finished the race. What a rough C main that one was. Many good race cars not transferring in. So let's get right into our starting lineup for this one. On the inside of row number 1, Nathan Davis and Jonathan Lowe, Justin Zapp and Larry Moody for row number 2. Row 3 going to be Billy Rowley in the 79 and Tyson Landis on his outside. Row number 4, Tyler Isley and Josh Pickell. Row number 5, Ryan Scheidt in the 10 and Christopher Lynn in the 48. And our final row here tonight, Alex Szerzynski and Jeremy Zarfos. And then our final row going to be Tyler Schell and Dakota Kuhn. The Nathan Davis in the 36 leading this field. 8 drivers going to make it into the A main out of this B main. Davis and Lowe on the front row as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. Green flag is out, and here we go. Davis with a huge jump. Justin Zapp down to the inside of Jonathan Lowe in the 20. Zapp has the advantage as he makes his way down the back stretch and moves into second spot. Lowe sideways off of turn 4, gathers it back in. That gives Billy Rowley down to the inside the move he needs. Rowley in the 79 chases the race car up. Christopher Lynn and Alex Szerzynski already in trouble. They are out of this B main. One car hard into the wall on the inside. I'm not sure who that was. Taking a look at some of the cars at the back of the pack here. That's Jeremy Zarfos in the 19, Tyler Schell in the 85, even further behind. So Schell in need of a caution to get into this race. Schell setting the fastest lap of the race so far, but not doing him a whole lot of good because he's got a lot of ground to make up. So Davis, your race leader, Zap in second in that black number 3. Third place, the 79 of Billy Rowley. Larry Moody and Josh Pickell battling it out. Moody down to the bottom, Pickell on the high side. He's following in Billy Rowley's tire tracks. Top 8 drivers going to transfer out. Right now, Tyson Landis in that final transfers position. Jeremy Zarfos in the 19. Gets a good run off of turn number 4. Makes the pass on Landis, but Landis right back on the bottom through 1 and 2. So now Jeremy Zarfos in the final transfer spot as he begins to chase down Dakota Kuhn. Davis still your race leader. And the yellow flag going to come out, and it looks like Jonathan Lowe going to get in trouble with Tyler Schell in the 85. Contact made between the two, and around goes Lowe. Tyler Schell almost saving it, but take another look here. Tyler Schell and Lowe go down to the bottom lane. It looks like Jonathan Lowe maybe didn't anticipate the 85 to hit the bottom or misjudged going into the corner. But either way, the yellow back out. So your top 8 drivers: Nathan Davis, Justin Zapp, Billy Rowley, Larry Moody, Josh Pickell, Ryan Scheidt, Dakota Kuhn, and Jeremy Zarfos. They all are in your transfer spots right now. As the lights go out on the Chevy Silverado. Silverado pulls down to the pit lane. Nathan Davis in control of the field, grabs himself a whole lot of throttle and gets a huge jump on Justin Zapp. Davis down in the bottom lane. This track has really slicked off quite a bit from the top lane down to the bottom. Now it becomes a driver's track. Who can find the best line throughout this race to hold on and make it into the A main with 2 laps to go? Davis looking very strong right now to transfer into the A main. Check in on the final transfer spot. Jeremy Zarfos trying to hold off the 85 of Tyler Shell. One more time around. Shell goes to the high side. Dakota Kuhn right in front of Jay-Z. Off of turn number 2. Shell gets the spot for the moment. Jeremy Zarfos falling back. Nathan Davis gonna win it. Justin Zapp, Joshua Pickell, Billy Rowley, Larry Moody, Ryan Scheidt, Dakota Kuhn, and Tyler Shell make it into the A main. So now that we go into a warm-up, we're going to step away for a quick minute. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for tonight's A main event. So let's get right into our starting lineup for this one. On the inside of row number 1, Mike Keegan. On his outside, Kenny Hoffman, Kyle Stoltz, and Mason Hannagan. Row number 2. Row number 3 going to be Kyle Keene and Kevin Click. Row number 4, Peyton Grease and Zach McLaughlin. Adam Buchanan and Taylor Howell make up row number 5. Row number 6 going to be Vinny Sansone and Ernie Williams Jr. in the 91. Row 7, Michael Sheridan and Zane Scott. Row number 8, Jaden Bingaman and Chris Roberts. Row 9, Nathan Davis and Justin Zapp. These drivers all coming from the B main. Joshua Pickell and Billy Rowley in row 10. Row 11, Larry Moody and Ryan Scheidt. And our final starting spot here tonight, Dakota Kuhn and Tyler Shell. Silverado down and in. Mike Keegan from the pole position stabs the throttle, and we are underway for the first time here tonight in the A main. 30 laps are distant, and Keegan has the advantage down the backstretch. He was fast in his heat race, but all for naught on that start as the yellow flag going to come out. Not sure what happened to bring out the yellow. The 44 of Adam Buchanan at the tail end of this field. Buchanan getting crossed up. See if we can take another look at what happened to the 44. Several cars getting a little bit of a piece of that one. But Adam Buchanan claiming that penalty, or claiming that caution and serving his penalty as he drops to the tail of the field. The Chevy Silverado turns its lights off and we get ready to go back to green flag racing here in tonight's A main. Mike Keegan looking for his first win of this season. Mike Keegan, a DOB Outlaw driver, as we are back to green flag racing. Keep in mind the Pennsylvania Posse versus the DOB Outlaws is in effect here tonight as we are at a Pennsylvania racetrack. Keegan out in front, Hoffman giving chase. Hoffman into the fence a little bit hard there. Stoltz gonna move into second place. Mason Hannagan and Hoffman trying to gather that back in, but the yellow flag going to come out. And Jaden Bingaman going to be the reason for the caution flag trigger. He caught the fence down the front stretch and then sailed it off into 1 and 2 and flips out of the park. As you saw Bingaman just tumbling. Catches the wall off of 4, then once again down the front stretch around the middle. Dude loved the wall, that's all I can say. Couldn't keep it off the wall. Had a love affair with it, and it ended up destroying his life. So Bingaman on the pit road. He is our first car to hit pit lane. '24 sprint cars started the race here tonight. If Bingaman can make it back out there, then we'll keep all 24 cars for the DOB Brent Marks Racing Sim Team 360s presented by Wicked Cushion, Kyle Keen Motorsports, and Brent Marks Racing Sim Team. Can't say that enough. They all are still out there. Bingaman is the only one on pit road. I tell you, I've had brain damage this week. It's been rough. Silverado pulls down and in. Mike Keegan on the throttle, gets a great jump over Kenny Hoffman And we go back to green flag racing. Keegan down on the bottom through 1 and 2, sends it back down to the bottom on 3 and 4. Hoffman to the high side. Stoltz in the tire tracks of Mike Keegan. Everyone throughout this track as the yellow flag going to come back out. I believe this one going to be for Billy Rowley in the 79. Take a look and see if we can figure out what happened here. Rowley in the 79 down on the bottom, and it looked like 2 other cars getting crossed up, and Rowley with nowhere to go. Chris Roberts in the 93, and this 36 of Nathan Davis make contact into the corner, and Rowley just cannot get it wound up enough. So yellow flag back out. Mike Keegan, your race leader. Keegan making his way around safely, calmly, and collected behind that Chevy Silverado. His lights do go out on the Silverado. Jaden Bingaman still has not made it back out onto the track. We get ready to go back to green flag racing. Silverado pulls down to the infield. Mike Keegan racing machine out in front, stabs him some throttle, and away we go once again. Keegan out in front. .25 laps to go here in this one, and Keegan on that throttle hard. Caution flag coming out once again. See if we can back this up and figure out what happened. Looks like Larry Moody may be getting a piece of this. Dakota Kuhn as well. Ryan Scheidt involved. On board with the 95 of Dakota Kuhn. Things just happen very quick in a race car. So week 13 here on iRacing. Your week 13 is going well. Glad to hear it. If it is not going well, that's week 13 for you. All I have to say about that. Lights go out on the Chevy Silverado. we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Here we go, Mike Keegan on the throttle, and the green flag back out, and away we go once again. Jaden Bingaman, the only race car not on the track, everyone else continuing to make it around out there. Down to the bottom goes Keegan, through 3 and 4, almost clipping the tires. He is running that bottom line to perfection for the moment, but Kenny Hoffman maybe running that high side a little bit better. Hoffman gets him run off of turn number 2, and Hoffman out in front now for the first time here tonight. So Hoffman in the 1 in the race lead. Some big movers that we have here tonight. Michael Sheridan already moving forward a few positions from where he started. Mason Hannagan trying to work his way forward. Hannagan moves into second spot. Mike Keegan falling to third. Kyle Stoltz under heavy pressure from Kyle Keene. Zane Scott running the high side to try and take advantage of them down on the bottom. And the caution flag coming out for Zach McLaughlin. Let's see what happened to the 11. McLaughlin and Sheridan make contact, and around goes the 11. Been a little bit of a rough race here tonight. Long caution laps, a lot of cautions here at Williams Grove, and a long time to cycle around at Williams Grove under yellow. Keep in mind, after this race here, we will jump straight into our second race of the night. So it's not over just yet. Lights are out on the Silverado. Hoffman in the number 1. Gonna try and hold off our points leader, Mason Hannagan, and bring home his first win of the season. Green flag is out, and away we go. Hannagan trying to work over the 1 machine. Both drivers to the high side through 3 and 4. Mason Hannagan working the bottom lane. Can't quite get the run off of turn number 2 that he needs, but he is right there starting to stalk that Hoffman machine. And Kenny Hoffman better hold on to everything he's got, because Mason Hannagan starting to charge hard, but the yellow flag going to come out once again. See if we can figure out what happened here. The 36 of Nathan Davis. Joshua Pickell. Looked like Zane Scott there as well. Zane Scott in the 37. Mike Keegan, Kyle Stoltz make contact down the backstretch. Pickell and Davis coming in late. So Kenny Hoffman, your race leader, holds off Mason Hannagan for a little bit longer. Hannagan was trying to make some moves to put himself into the race lead. Hannagan came into tonight as the points leader. And take a look at our points standings. As the pace truck gets out of the way, green flag comes back out. Hoffman, your race leader. Only one DOB 360 sprint car out of the race. That is Jaden Bingaman. Everyone else still digging hard out on the racetrack. Zane Scott included. Pickell, who were just involved in our most recent caution. And now another yellow coming out. And this one involving Nathan Davis in the 36, and he has gone to pit road. Looks like maybe his night is done. So Nathan Davis in the 36. There you go, the 92 backing up. Multiple cars getting involved. We go on board with Nathan Davis. So he tried to figure out a lane to get through. Payne Grease, Zane Scott, all involved in this one. McLaughlin in the 11 going up and over as well. Pickell involved. Several race cars getting involved. Lights out on the Silverado. It heads for turns. Heads for pit road down through turns 3 and 4. Hoffman out in front. Long hold there before he got to the throttle as the green flag comes out. As this race is starting to wind down, Hoffman trying to hold off Mason Hannagan. Hannagan and Hoffman both go to the high side through 3 and 4. Attrition starting to rear its head here, and the yellow flag maybe going to come out again, maybe not. Dakota Kuhn in trouble. He clears off that race car before the yellow flag can come out. So Hoffman looking for his first win of the season. Mason Hannagan trying to continue to hold on to that points lead. Hannagan gets a good run on the bottom side, but Hoffman a little bit better off of 2. Now Hannagan down to the bottom. Hannagan slide job for the race lead. Hoffman pulls down low, and Hannagan maybe going to have the momentum to hold him off. 13 laps to go. Mason Hannagan in the 1X now falls back to second place. Hoffman and Hannagan going to start trading sliders here, but Hoffman bails out of the throttle. Hannagan takes the race lead now. Meanwhile, behind them, a little bit deeper in the pack, we got cars in trouble. Up and over goes Kevin Click in the 25C. And the yellow flag comes out once again. Click goes into the corner, catches the right rear guardrail. Mike Keegan, Tyler Schell. All those guys getting involved in that one. Take another look here. So Click on pit road. Once again, as I said, this race is really starting to take out some drivers. 17 cars still on track. We started 24. Tyler Schell, Kevin Click, the most recent victims here to the battle of attrition. So we'll take a moment and let's look at our points. Mason Hannagan came into tonight as your points leader. He is out in front once again. Darren Detwiler did not make it into the A main. Kevin Click just crashed out of the A main. Alex Szerzynski did not make it. Pickell here in the A main. Schell here in the A main. So the points are going to get shaken up just a little bit. Here we go. Mason Hannagan back on the throttle as the green flag is out once again. Hannagan down to the bottom side. He is doing all he can at the bottom of 1 and 2, and then he likes to rip it to the high side through 3 and 4. So Hannagan, your race leader. Hoffman in second. They are pulling away from the rest of the field. And Hannagan trying to pull away from Hoffman as another flag flies. This time for Larry Moody. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to the 73. Larry Moody down on the bottom. Ryan Scheidt, looks like he and Scheidt are going to make a little bit of contact as maybe Moody got into the fence and Scheidt tried to pull around. Take another look at this one. Larry Moody down to the bottom. Scheidt gets into him just a little bit, and then Moody, because of that contact, noses into the inside wall. So the Chevy Silverado going to get credit for leading the most laps here tonight. Not only in the A main, but also in all the heat races. A little bit of a rough go for the field here. Fourteen sprint cars are on the lead lap right now. Lights have gone out on the Chevy Silverado. All right, here we go. Mason Hannagan, Kenny Hoffman, Kyle Keene, Mike Keegan, and Kyle Stoltz rounding out your top five. Restart. Back to green we go. This race starting to wind down, just 8 laps to go here in the A main. Hannagan starting to rip that high side, and as I mentioned, he is your points leader. Mason Hannagan has 5 wins so far this season, trying to make it 6. And we are only on race number 8. So Mason Hannagan, one of the hottest shoes out there right now. Hoffman still in second. Vinny Sansone and Kyle Keene battling it out for 3rd place. Right behind them, there's several race cars mixing it up. Ernie Williams Jr. in the 91, battling with Mike Keegan, who started on the pole. Williams, as we go on aboard with the 91. Can't quite get the run up off the corner that he needs. Billy Rowley and Mike Keegan make contact as Ernie Williams goes all the way to the top side. Kyle Keene in the 17 and Ernie Williams in the 91. They're battling it out as we got 3 laps to go. But this one going to get a checkered flag on time. Mason Hannagan going to win. Kenny Hoffman, Vinny Sansone, Ernie Williams, Kyle Keene, all making it, well, into the top 5. Let's take a look at the rest of our results here tonight. The checkered flag falls. Mason Hannagan, your race winner. Kenny Hoffman second. Vinny Sansone third. Ernie Williams fourth. Kyle Keene fifth. Billy Rowley sixth. Seventh goes to Mike Keegan. Kyle Stoltz eighth. Justin Zapp ninth. 10th, Michael Sheridan. Josh Pickell 11th. 12th goes to Chris Roberts. Taylor Howell in 13th. 14th, Adam Buchanan. Kevin Click rounding out your top 15. Zach McLaughlin 16th. 17th goes to Larry Moody. Ryan Scheidt finishing in 18th place. 19th goes to Tyler Shell. Dakota Kuhn 20th. 21st, Peyton Grease. Nathan Davis 22nd. Zane Scott 23rd. And Jaden Bingaman in 24th spot. So with that being said, let's take a moment here and let our race winner and podium finishing drivers take their helmets off and get ready for a post-race interview. And let's kick it off with our race winner. That is the driver of the 1X, Mason Hannagan. Mason, congratulations on picking up that race win, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it took a little longer than expected there, that's for sure.
It was quite a bit longer than expected, but the Black Diamond Motorsports 1X seems to have the mailing address for Victory Lane no matter where we go.
Yeah, I mean, we've been all right. I didn't really feel that good there, and I thought Kenny had that one locked up for a little while, and then I didn't really figure out the bottom one until really late, and I'm gonna definitely have to replace the brake pads in this one before we head to Lernerville because they are gone. I know that for a fact. So yeah, good race to Kenny there. I wish we could have went quite a few green there, but just never really got the chance to.
Well, man, you bring it home for another race win. I believe that is your 6th win this season. So solid effort going so far. You come into tonight as the points leader. You spread that gap out a little bit further, and we still have one more race to go. How do you feel your chances are at Lanier?
Is it at Lanier or I don't know. I mean, if it's at Lanier, it might be at Lernerville.
I think I'm at Lernerville.
The only reason I thought it was at Lernerville is because it was the PA deal. So, I don't know. I'm not very good at Lernerville, so we'll just go into it and we'll find out.
Well, there you go. It is Lernerville. I just said Lanier because, you know,
Why
L's.
not?
The L's. I get confused.
Same thing, different length.
Yeah. Same thing.
That's
all right,
what I was
man.
thinking.
Well, shout outs, thank yous for this race win here tonight.
Yeah, Black Diamond Motorsports, Tim Sims, UDTV, Velocity Race Designs, and all the boys at DOB, and especially you for broadcasting it. And hopefully we can do something in this Lernerville race.
All right, man. Well, nice job here tonight. Congratulations on a solid race win once again.
Thank you.
That is Mason Hannagan, your race winner, putting in a very solid effort. But now let's move on to our 2nd place driver. That is Kenny Hoffman. As we pull him up into the broadcast booth. Kenny Hoffman, you got your ears on, bud?
Yep, got you.
Well, man, that one looked like you had that race in hand from start to finish, but dang old dang if that lane didn't change on you just a little bit.
Yeah, and 1 and 2 was really weird because the wind was really high, so I was running kind of like a little short slider-ish up to a grip, and it felt pretty good, but then as the race went on, it just got really bumpy up there, and I was really struggling to hit my marks in 1 and 2 around the bottom, which, gave Mason a nice run around. All in all, it was a good night for me. I believe it was like my best finish I had in DOB. So that's a positive. See what we can do at Lernerville next race. But yeah, Mason just did a lot of stuff better than I did.
Well, man, nice job out there here, bringing it home in 2nd, leading a bunch of laps. Hoffman, you're still looking for that first win of the season here on Tuesday night, but dang if you didn't put in a good showing here at Williams Grove. What's it going to take to make Lernerville the place you score that win?
The hopefully just not fly off the track. That's one of my biggest things. I have a problem there. Hopefully Chris doesn't set the wind crazy again. But we'll see what we can do. Grove usually goes well for me. It's one of my better tracks on here. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, shout outs, thank yous, anything you'd like to say before the mics get turned off?
Just shout out to everybody at JRB Motorsports, Chase, Cody, everybody else we have over there. Shout out to ABR Sab Shop and Alex Bergeron for everything that he's done for me. Put me in the position where I am today. So I appreciate you for broadcasting and appreciate Chris for running this league.
All right, that is Kenny Hoppin, your second place finisher here tonight. Once again, congratulations, Kenny. A solid effort to bring it home in second place. So guys, that is going to do it for us here at Williams Grove. We are going to move on to Lernerville here in just a little bit. No one go anywhere. We're going to step away and then head to Lernerville. Yeah. All right, here we go.